Happening now, the latest on an injury school bus crash in Chautauqua County as law enforcement investigate. And parents of abused Randolph students are petitioning their school board for resolve. Plus, locals, they're seeking answers about Jamestown's deer infestation, specifically why nothing has been done to address the problem for over a year.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, an investigation is underway to determine what caused a single-vehicle school bus injury crash in northern Chautauqua County today. At around 9:15 Wednesday morning, a Chautauqua Lake Central School District bus headed northwest on Route 394 crashed just off the roadway south of the village of Mayville near Lighthouse Point. The school district superintendent told our news crew on scene no students were on board bus 142 at the time. As a result of the accident, the bus's driver was taken to Westfield Memorial Hospital with minor injuries. An investigation to determine what caused the bus driver to swerve off the roadway continues. A 47-year-old man was arrested following a drug raid in Jamestown on Tuesday. Around 2 p.m., Jamestown police officers with the SWAT team executed a search warrant at 138 Colfax Street and arrested Derek Dubois. Inside the residence, investigators allegedly recovered 28 grams of cocaine. Dubois has since been charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance. Parents of students who claim their gym teacher has subjected them to verbal abuse, including alleged body shaming, are petitioning the school district's Board of Education for answers. On Monday, a group of Randolph Central School students spoke out exclusively to WNY News Now about their gym teacher, Mrs. Nicholson's alleged abuse. Since then, more students have stepped forward, including past graduates of the institution, who indicate the allegations are part of a multi-generational problem persisting for decades. Virginia Miller has 3 daughters at Randolph Central School. She tells us her twins have had run-ins with Nicholson.
Rosie's been out of school a few times. She's a transplant patient, so she has some major medical. And she can't play gym off and on because of medical reasons like others. And one time she was out, she had to write essays, and I told them she wasn't going to write them. She is a IEP child that has criteria that doesn't allow her to write long essays and stuff because of reasons of learning. And she told her sister the one day in school when she wasn't there that her sister's a baby and needs to stop hiding behind her mother to fight her battles.
Miller hopes the School Board of Education will be able to provide clarity on the issue. She has sought assistance from Starbridge. They're a legal group that helps advocate for people with disabilities who will also be in attendance tonight. The School Board of Education meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m. in the high school's library at Randolph Central School. Miller encourages other parents with grievances to attend. Now, when reached out to comment, the school's administrator was unable to speak specifically to allegations outlined by parents and students, but says the district does their due diligence in investigating claims. Well, it's been close to a year and a half since local leaders here in Jamestown have tried to cull the deer population within city limits. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins us live from the newsroom today with more from the public and what they're now asking to be done to try to stop this ever-growing deer situation. Bronson?
Justin, Jamestown resident and previous deer management work group member Tom Nelson asked the city council at their weekly meeting for an update on plans to regulate urban deer.
What's been done? What's going to get done? Has there been a committee formed? Who's serving on the committee? Who's going to take the lead on that committee? I know many times you get people coming to council meetings complaining they don't have a solution. I think many of you know I put forth a solution in September of 2021, which was rejected by many of the members of this council.
Several proposals have been considered, including sterilization, relocation, and even a controlled hunt, with all either being rejected by the DEC or the City Council.
Can't do sterilization because it has to be tied to a university and a program, and other methods just are either way too expensive or not going to be allowed by the state.
Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist says the City Council voted down potential solutions twice, which started arguments between council members and administration.
I don't recall ever having anything come from the specific administration from City Hall per se. It was Tom's committee that came up with a recommendation. There were several changes at the last minute that people didn't feel comfortable with. So I guess it was just confusing.
Well, I don't necessarily think that's correct. We did propose an option to the City Council. At that point, the City Council said, no, we'd rather see a task force.
Councilwoman Kim Eklund goes on to say that the town of Ellicott supposedly granted more hunting permits last year. However, an update on the program was not provided.
There's a lot of reasons there's more deer and you can ask many hunters. There's less people hunting. There's more posted property for people to not be able to hunt on. So deer, where you live, Mayor, where I live, aren't just in the city of Jamestown. They're coming from the outskirts, and I think we need to realize that and look at all that stuff and involve the DEC and involve those organizations as well.
Previously, the council planned to create a new task force to tackle the deer problem. However, no action has been taken on that front either. Reporting live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you very much. Well, thanks to this great weather this week, Peak and Peak Resort's Upper Golf Course, they'll be opening for the season this Friday, April 14th. Golfers will be able to enjoy early season rates through Friday, April 28th. Now, players will have the opportunity to play through 18 holes with an electronic cart for $49 opening weekend. Carts are equipped with GPS features that will display the yardages of each hole on the course. Now, during the early season, the course will offer free tee times between 8 in the morning and 5:40. The golfers can book a tee online. Certainly the weather making all this possible for sure. Whether you're out there golfing, walking, or heck, just sitting on your front porch, Jackson, it's not a bad day to be in Chautauqua County.
Yeah, still gorgeous like it has been for much of this week. Unfortunately, the golfers not going to get great conditions over the weekend, but for the next few days, it will be great. Unfortunately, a downside to that, we do still have this special weather statement you can see in the white, and then also a red flag warning has been added in northwestern Pennsylvania for that elevated fire risk. We had it yesterday, and it will continue today due to the drier conditions and the winds that will be still present throughout the day, so certainly be careful. And that statewide burn ban does go until May 14th, so keep that in mind. Yesterday, we got up to 69 officially at the airport, low of 29 overnight. The average is 55. Record 81 for the high today. We will not get up to there. It will be warm, but not 81. For today, highs upper 60s to the mid to upper 70s. Clear skies, slightly cooler near the lake as we have been for the past couple days, and we'll have west winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. I'll have some more details coming up, including that rain that we could see over the weekend. Justin, what's next?
All right, Jackson, thank you very much. As we do continue this half hour, the latest from SUNY leaders here in New York, bringing an end to a COVID-era vaccine mandate for college kids. And later, our New York Capitol correspondent is breaking down a new climate change legislation proposed here in the Empire State. We tell you what our local state senator has to say. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
On Tuesday, SUNY announced that the COVID vaccine will no longer be mandated for students to attend any of their campuses. This comes on the heels of the end of the national public health emergency that the Biden administration announced Monday. Even though the mandate is no longer in place, SUNY says that COVID-19 vaccines will be strongly encouraged for students. Faculty and staff will also be encouraged to stay up to date on their vaccinations. SUNY says if needed, they will continue to monitor COVID data and update the policy. Well, this week, some climate advocates, they are pushing for legislation that intends to combat the impacts of climate change. Our New York Capital correspondent Elise Klein talks to lawmakers about the bills currently introduced in the legislature.
As the state budget continues into overtime, climate advocates urge lawmakers and the governor to support 3 bills that intend to address climate change and its costs. The bills intend to do this through electric heating, establishing a climate change adaptation fund, and aligning utility regulations with state climate justice and emission reduction targets.
We know that these will save money, so let's do the right thing. Keep our climate laws and solve the problem by leaning in, not leaning out.
Some lawmakers dispute these bills.
The truth of the matter is none of this is going to make anything more affordable. It's going to make things more expensive. It's going to drive families and businesses out of New York State, and for a goal that is not only ridiculous, but in the end is going to accomplish literally nothing when it comes to climate change.
Some advocates say one of the bills, the Climate Change Superfund Act, would help address concerns of affordability.
If there really is a concern about cost, there's an easy way to fix that, and that's to make the oil companies pay.
In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
New York State announced on Tuesday that they will stockpile the abortion medication misoprostol. It's part of the state's ongoing efforts to protect access to abortion.
And last year, the attacks were on abortion procedures. This year, medication abortion. What's next? Contraception? Birth control? Well, I'm here to say, not New York, not now, not ever.
The state says they will stockpile 150 doses of the medication, which amounts to a 5-year supply. Governor Kathy Hochul says she is currently working with the state legislature to require private insurers to cover misoprostol when it's prescribed off-label for abortion. Hochul has also proposed several actions to protect access to abortion care and support abortion providers as part of her proposed 2024 executive budget. Some of that includes increasing Medicaid reimbursement rates, providing $25 million in support for providers, allowing pharmacists to prescribe birth control, and implementing data privacy and expanding abortion access on SUNY and CUNY campuses. Well, Tuesday in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, advocates for abortion, they rallied to reduce the state's funding for crisis pregnancy centers. Advocates and Democratic lawmakers say the anti-abortion centers use sometimes harmful practices to discourage individuals from receiving care. The centers have received state funding since 1995, when lawmakers comprised to fund the crisis pregnancy centers, in addition to funding Planned Parenthood with taxpayer dollars. Now, some pro-life lawmakers say the centers provide important alternatives for individuals who are voluntarily seeking other options. Abortion advocates say the centers do more harm than good.
They still want to come in to see what their options are, maybe to get another opinion on what that abortion procedure is going to look like, feel like.
Maternal health crisis that we're in was wholly manufactured by poor policy choices, and they need to be reversed.
Now, more information and reaction to the crisis pregnancy centers, including their proposed funding for the 2023-24 fiscal budget, is available right now at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, coming up next, what a senator has to say about a push to defund the Department of Justice in response to former President Donald Trump's indictment. Look at the federal push now to crack down on a new deadly drug that's being misused, not just nationwide, but here in our community too. But first, we return with a full look at our weather forecast. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
You know, hunting
Caitlin
on
Armstrong
private land has been quite the experience.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently at the Jamestown Airport, we are under mostly sunny skies, 68 degrees. West wind at 15 miles an hour, visibility not an issue, greater than 10 miles, and the dew point is quite a bit higher than it was yesterday, 46. Still comfortable, but not quite as dry as we were yesterday. I wanted to make a mention of the Skywarn training coming up April 20th at 7 p.m. That's next Thursday. This is an online training session. You do have to register, and to do that, you can go to weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn. That's the National Weather Service in Buffalo. They are holding this storm spotter training. And you know, storm spotters are so important to us. Radar is great, but it sees above the ground level, so we really need more spotters to help relay information during severe weather. And you know, that's coming up this summer. So, you know, certainly consider getting involved in that. Taking a look at our region, though, satellite and radar over the past 5 hours, you can see this pink line here indicates a stationary front that's spanning from Watertown through Albany, associated with that low pressure system off to our northeast. And I thought this was really cool. This cold front, you can actually see where it is on satellite with that kind of spinning motion behind me. I thought it was just really cool to see. But none of that will be affecting us. We'll be really gorgeous for the rest of the day and the next couple days as well. Timing it on Future Scan, you'll see, I'm just going to let it run. Not much across our region, maybe a couple stray clouds, but really going to be mostly clear today. And even as we head into Thursday, Thursday morning and early afternoon will be fine. As we get into Thursday evening, though, that's when we could see partly to mostly cloudy skies, but otherwise really pleasant. No precipitation for the next couple days as well. So if you are going to get out on the golf course, the next couple days will be good. But this weekend, not so much. As we look at the extended forecast brought to you by Ultimate Satellite Solutions, you can see the next few days mid to upper 70s. Friday, I still think we could get pretty close to 80 in some parts of our area, but as we head into the weekend, scattered showers are possible Saturday and likely on Sunday, although we will still be above average until we get to the next work week when we'll be slightly below average with temperatures.
Yeah, we got to enjoy the sun while we have it. Jackson, thank you. Well, let's get some national headlines now. And the day after former President Donald Trump was in New York in a courtroom facing 34 felony counts related to alleged hush money payments, he took to social media, urging Republicans to defund 2 federal law enforcement agencies. Well, Senate Democrats, they're now pushing back. Senator Chuck Schumer made it known that they plan to take up that resolution denouncing Trump's call to defund 2 agencies in a letter to members. That letter says, in part, Trump's call for defunding law enforcement agencies is a baseless, self-serving broadside against the men and women who keep our nation safe. Senator Schumer adds that the good work of the FBI and DOJ sends criminals to prison for bank robberies, sex trafficking, child pornography, hate crimes, terrorism, fraud, and so much more. Now, the former president and his allies in Congress must not subject justice and public safety from being part of their personal grievances, end quote. This vote could force Republicans to choose between standing by the former president and standing with federal law enforcement. Congress is still in recess, but they will return next week. Well, shockwaves in the U.S. intelligence community following the leak of a series of highly classified documents on social media. U.S. officials, they're deeply rattled, fearing the revelations could jeopardize sensitive sources and compromise critical relationships. Gloria Pazmino has more from the Pentagon.
An interagency effort is underway.
This level of breach is significant.
To determine the authenticity and impact of dozens of leaked Pentagon documents that were posted online in recent weeks.
If there's 50 classified documents, there's 50 separate stories that are going to impact on the ground in Ukraine right now.
The information contained in the documents reveals the depths of U.S. spying on allies and foes alike.
Number one, the most important thing we have are our sources, and number two are our allies. And when those are both put in jeopardy, that makes us less secure and it makes our enemies more emboldened.
Some of the documents, which officials say are authentic, expose the extent of U.S. eavesdropping on allies, including South Korea, Israel, and Ukraine. Others seem to divulge key weaknesses in Ukrainian weaponry and military readiness, while some show the degree to which the U.S. has penetrated the Russian Ministry of Defense.
Its goal is to weaken our resolve, weaken our alliance.
But unlike previous intelligence leaks, U.S. officials believe some of the documents may have been altered.
These photos appear to show documents similar in format to those used to provide daily updates to our senior leaders on Ukraine and Russia. Some of these images appear to have been altered.
A Pentagon spokesperson said the U.S. is already in talks with allies regarding the leak, and steps are being taken to tighten the flow of such highly sensitive documents. I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
And officials are concerned the leak could not only jeopardize a critical Ukrainian counteroffensive attack against the Russians, but also U.S. and Ukrainian ties. The leak coming just as both nations have begun to develop a more trusting relationship over intelligence sharing. Well, for the first time in history, the White House has declared a drug to be an emerging threat here in the country. The Biden administration has made the declaration about the powerful synthetic opioid fentanyl combined with xylazine. It's an animal tranquilizer, also known as trank or trank dope. Officials say it's been found in almost all 50 states and is linked to an increasing number of overdose deaths. The Drug Enforcement Administration says trank was found in 23% of fentanyl powder and 7% of fentanyl pills seized in 2022. People who use this synthetic drug say it can extend the duration of their high. While the FDA has approved xylazine for use in veterinary medicine, it's not approved for use in humans. Experts say when used by drug users, it can leave severe skin ulcers and rotting skin that could lead to an amputation. Well, coming up next, stray cats, they are a big problem in our area. Ways on how you can help prevent the strays.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
No. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
The issue for the agriculture community and some GOP lawmakers is the new financial burden.
The DA telling me he's received 30,000 files alone from New York State Police in the form of things like PDF files, Excel sheets, and video evidence.
Once those 4 graduate from the academy, it will leave the city of Jamestown with 60 firefighters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Well, leaving food out for your neighborhood stray or offering a pat on the head to these cats might seem like a good idea. It's a friendly thing to do, but it's not really helping these kitties at all. Luckily, there's something you can do to aid in the stray cat epidemic. Alyssa Wright spent some time at our local Humane Society recently to find out what everyday folks can do. Alyssa?
Justin, in the past year, the Chautauqua County Humane Society alone has helped hundreds of cats in our areas with their trap, neuter, and return program. However, staff at the Humane Society can't do it alone.
You've all seen the cats in the county. You've all seen the cats in Jamestown. You've seen the cats, like you said, not in great shape in different places. So we want to make sure that we try to limit the amount of cats that are reproducing in our area and allow them to be healthy animals in our area. As for the Trap, Neuter, Return program, we have that program set up for both within the city as well as within the county. We've done 626 cats last year, so we made a huge impact with a lot of it, but there's no funding for the program at this point.
Not only are stray cats exposed to harsh, unforgiving elements, dangerous predators, and an unreliable source of food, they are also more susceptible to deadly diseases.
It's more than just feeding them. They require medical care too to make sure that they maintain good health, and part of that is their spay and neuter, because there's a lot of things that'll come along if you're not going to get them altered.
There is FIP in our area, there's leukemia in our areas, there's parvo, which is the panleukopenia in the cats. So there's a lot of things that can be prevented if we get their gonads out.
The staff at the Humane Society believe the best way to help is to take preventative measures.
We don't want them to reproduce because we already have an overpopulation problem, so we don't want to add to the problem, we want to fix it.
Interested in taking action, to give them a call at 716-665-2209 and register with their TNR program to become a part of the solution. Most supplies needed will be provided by the shelter at no cost to the volunteers.
That's a hard thing to get today is volunteers, right? People
Absolutely.
who are willing to help. So certainly I'm sure they take anything they can. And the stray cat issue, it's so interesting because you'd think with more stray cats maybe they'd have more adoptions, but I'm sure there's a cap of how many cats they can take in, rehabilitate, so to speak, get them ready for a home, and then adopt them.
It's a lengthy process, and then you get the issues of, well, now because this cat was a stray, now they have this disease. Are they able to be rehomed? Are they able to be around other cats?
Right, yeah, certainly, and we want to have happy furry friends, At the same time, we don't want them to overpopulate how many people.
Definitely so.
Which is important. Alyssa.
Spay and neuter.
Yes, thank you very much for that. That's going to do it for our show today. Of course, the news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Here's a live look outside of our offices here in downtown Jamestown. Have a good day.